Arrowverse.com. Sign up for a premium 30-day trial. That means one game out. You need to go over to www.gameflyoffer.com/nerdcave to try out your free trial. 30 days. Love Gamefly.
It's great.
Getting a new game in soon. I'm excited.
What game
You should
are you
try
getting?
it. I'm hoping Crash. That's what I'm trying. I'm trying not to spend money on Crash because I know once I play it and I'm done, that's it. Never going back to it. Pretty much every game is that way for me though. But I don't want to pay for Crash. I'm sorry. I don't want to be the people that buy it. Okay, I love Crash. I would support it if I wanted to, but at the moment I don't want to because I'm a teacher and I don't get paid that much.
That's fair.
Very true.
So, what's up, everybody? This is Zach here with the Nerd Cave, joined along with
Robbie.
And the person working the switchboard.
And Alec, I'm sorry, I haven't had a mic the last few times.
I know, we were punishing you.
That's fair.
Don't pay no attention to the man behind the curtain over there.
It's the lady behind the curtain.
You don't know that.
It's true.
They don't know that. They
don't know that. One day we'll have multiple cameras.
Today is not that day.
Allie will have like a bunch of monitors, like Swordfish Hugh Jackman, it's like all the monitors. That's going to be Allie over there.
Okay.
Or she might be in front of the camera by then. We might let her back on camera.
Camera's not ready for that just yet.
Yeah.
No.
It's okay.
Can't handle this.
Yes. Today is episode 219.
Almost to 220.
Yeah, 220. And then
we're halfway to 420.
Yeah, I was going to say, well,
which we don't
halfway.
condone none of that on the...
No butterscotch for you.
Halfway would be 410. Or, excuse me, 210.
Wait, that's what I meant to say.
We're 200 away.
Yeah,
that's what I meant to say. That was where my brain was.
Oh,
it's not like I do.
I get it.
See, I don't deal with accounting in my day-to-day job.
No, by no means.
Oh, absolutely not.
So, everybody, if you're watching this right now, live, we're over on patreon.com/nerdcave, where if you throw down $1, you can make us holler, and you can see it live before anybody else.
Holler at Allie when she's knocking over lights.
Yes.
Hey, I didn't realize how close the chair was. I'm sorry.
So, every week, we're going to be going live. One of them will be live for everybody, but the other 3 weeks will be live for only the people that support us on Patreon, starting at $1.
The select few.
Mm-hmm. And that also gives you access to not just the live stream, but the Let's Plays a day early. This week's Let's Play. Wow, I just forgot what I edited all this morning.
It was
Star Wall.
Oh, never mind.
That's what it was. Star Wall is this week's episode. Let's Play. Man, it's a long day, and tomorrow I start work back full swing. So, without further ado.
Abu?
Abu? What about him?
He's a cool monkey.
Oh, I thought you were talking about our Patreon supporter. Abu.
Oh.
Shout out to you for supporting us over at patreon.com/nerdcave at the $15 level. Getting that shout out on the podcast.
I mean, Abu's cool, but Abu from Aladdin, I'm sorry. He's my I would say my dog, but he's my monkey. Get it? Because, my dog, but my monkey.
God. All right. Jumping into the news. Arrow Season 6 may feature the return of Huntress. Season 6 of the CW show Arrow could potentially see the return of a classic DC character that hasn't appeared on the show since 2014. Helena Bertinelli, also known as the Huntress, played by Jessica DeGao, has spent... Yeah, you're just going to butcher the names today. Has spent years in jail and may finally cross paths once again with Team Arrow. Since playing the Huntress character... I'm going to call her Jessica. She's not getting her last name. Jessica has been a regular on the short-lived NBC series Dracula and WGN series Underground, which was canceled after 2 seasons in May. Executive producer Mark Guggenheim, who would want to be a Gungan, was asked about the chances of the character returning in Season 6. He said, "I want to say absolutely. Jessica has expressed an absolute willingness to come back. Jessica's a favorite actor of mine, and the Huntress is a favorite character of mine. I want to make it happen in Season 6. We've got some plans for the later half of the year, and I think will fit into really well. I think she will fit in really well, so we'll see." This ear thing is like throwing me all sippy-to-doo.
All zippity-doo.
All zippity-doo. So, you've watched Arrow. I've watched Arrow. Allie hasn't watched Arrow. What do you think about Huntress coming back?
I am excited, but I'm very saddened that, the name who shall not be named over there in our corner has not watched it. But that's okay. We can get past that. But I liked her character. She's a troubled character, just like all the people in the Arrowverse are.
Do they have to be people?
They could be metas, whatever.
Yeah. They're still people.
They are. They're all people underneath. But I do like her character a lot, and I do think she adds a lot to the show, whether she comes back as a potential ally or a potential bad guy. That's the interesting side of it.
You know, it'd be interesting. Her fighting Cupid.
That would be interesting.
That would be a cool match. Now, last time we saw her, Oliver was like trying to take her down. Like they had like a whole sting operation. That's how she got locked away.
Yeah.
So I think she's going to have, again, a vendetta on Oliver and Team Arrow. So it'll be interesting to see how that comes in. And if she's an ally, I'm curious how that all works out. But
you never know, because she could have been like, thank you for saving me from going down a long, dark road of evilness.
Evilness.
I don't know much about the show, but my guess is that just because dark gritty shows, my guess is that would be like if they were to
Your guess
team
has no
up.
power here.
Okay, well, whatever. No, my guess is that it would be something like the enemy of my enemy is my friends. They have like a common enemy, and they have to team up to beat it.
Yeah.
Whoever that is.
Guns. Both
Gun control.
Gun control. Jeez. There was an episode of Gun Control, and it was freaking awful. You know what's not awful, though? Arrow executive producer discusses the possibility of John Barrowman's return.
You mean 2018 Pentagon guest, John Barrowman?
Yeah, exactly. After his explosive finale at the end of season 5, my Arrow fans expect to see John Barrowman's Malcolm Merlin again. According to producers, that ball's in the actor's court. While Merlin, Jesus, why we got Derek Daniel? Jeez, man, ruining everything, spoiling crap all the time. I don't like you, man. I love you, but why do you have to spoil things? I know I should have watched it already. I know that.
You also should have read the article.
Yeah, but then it would have spoiled it anyway.
That's a really fair point.
But anyway, the executive producer said, that's up to John. We told John we called him to tell him about the events of the finale. Every single person on all the shows has come back in some shape or form. We've got flashbacks, we've got time travel, we've got parallel universe. Goodbye is never goodbye. He has an open invitation to return to the show at any time he wants. And then John, I think, goes on to talk about, I'm very sad to be leaving Arrowverse. I love playing Michael Merlin, and that is really... That's it really. Okay. As sad as it may be, I understand how shows must change and also characters must change and develop. But that doesn't mean I'm not very sad and upset by it. I appreciate your support and love you all. So I think we see him back. What do you think?
I think so too, especially after I love the way they did the article, his explosive ending.
I'm assuming he dies from an explosion.
Yeah.
An earthquake, maybe. Maybe he falls under some rubble, gets some rebar shoved through him, just like his son.
That was his son.
Yeah, if you didn't watch season 1, I just spoiled it for you, too.
Well, we're 6 seasons in, so I think it's safe. But, just like they said, nobody is goodbye. We've seen Oliver's parents come back multiple times. We've seen Deathstroke come back. We've seen a lot of people come back from
Diggs' brother.
Yeah, we thought he was dead, but he's not really dead.
We've had Laurel come back
multiple times.
We had Sarah come back. Laurel is evil Laurel, not Laurel though, but pretends to be Laurel, and everybody's like, "Oh my god,
is this Laurel?" I saw through that so quick.
Oh yeah.
I was like, there's no way.
Oh, yeah. There's wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey all over this place.
Thanks to Barry.
All over this place. Stop messing with the timeline.
Barry.
Now, the big thing that's come out this past week was this. And I'm kind of shocked by it all.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Disney, to pull movies from Netflix, launched their own streaming service.
She broke it.
No, I clicked on the wrong one. I'm sorry.
The increasingly crowded field of streaming services is about to become even more fractured, as Disney has announced plans to pull its films from Netflix and launch its own streaming service in 2019, as well as a separate ESPN streaming platform due in 2018. While Netflix has long been reigning champion of the streaming video service, that's due largely to the one-time DVD delivery service getting on the ground floor of streaming boom. As the media world has shifted away from reliance of traditional revenues, blah, blah, blah. You have Amazon, you got HBO, you got Hulu, you got all of
Netflix.
this. Now, Disney CEO Bob Iger released a statement that laid Disney's vision for its streaming future. So here it is. Here's Bob Saget.
Bob Saget.
I'm kidding. It's Bob Iger. Today, we announced a strategic shift in the way we distribute our content. The media landscape is increasingly defined by direct relationship between the content creators and the consumers. And our control of BAMTech full array of innovative technology will give us the power to forego those connections. Forge, not forego. Sorry. I was like, we're cutting the cord, man. Forge those connections along with the flexibility to quickly adapt to shifts in the market. This acquisition and the launch of our direct-to-consumer service mark an entirely new growth strategy for the company, one that takes advantage of the incredible opportunity that changing technology provides us, leverage the strength of our great brands. So, what we all get here. They bought a company that's got technology.
Lots
Bam!
of it.
Bam tech. Okay? That's saying a lot here. They're pulling the movies, and guess what? Rogue One just hit Netflix.
Yep, and it's going off. Not anytime soon.
Now it's going to be once they finish their contract. That I think 2019 is when the last one finishes. That's when you're going to start seeing the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Now they don't mention the Netflix series that they have going on, which is Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist, and the Defenders right now. So they have their own series going on there. I think they stay with them for a while until they see that, oh, we can pull off. Now, I'm not sure what their contract says on the Netflix originals, if when they leave, it's theirs or what. Like, what kind of Netflix is going out there?
Because they would be dumb to abandon the Netflix original, Daredevil, Jessica Jones. They would be dumb to let that go.
Which I don't think Disney or Marvel would sign away licenses like they had back in the past.
Not Disney.
So they have something, they're going to be able to take it with them.
Yeah.
Now, this comes right after we found out that Netflix is literally bleeding money. They're $20 billion in the hole. Is it $20 million?
$20 million. I want to say. I don't.
Allie, fact check me right there. Give me a total here. It's in the 20-something illions. All right, and that's pretty bad. You know, we've seen shows like The Office leaving. We've seen shows.
It's 20 billion.
20 billion.
Okay.
20 billion. We've seen The Office leave. We've seen Scrubs leave. We've seen several of these things, big shows leave. NBC's kind of breaking away as well. That also means ABC shows are going to come away. So you're going to lose Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You're going to lose all of those that's going on there. CBS doesn't have a lot of good shows, so they're on there, of course. You've got all of this, but Netflix is kind of like somebody keeps shooting holes in their boat.
Like it's a shell of its former self, of what it used to be.
Yeah, and it was up on this lofty hill. It was up here, and it was shining on the hill. And now everybody, like the sharks, are circling in the water. Like, I don't know how this city becomes in the hill and then it's a ship.
And then it's in the water, but yeah.
It's Water World.
Oh God!
But it's doomsday. I feel the time has come.
Yeah, I understand why, but I wish that there was another, like, instead of Disney having their own, other people having their own. I'm obviously gonna sign up for Disney and the ESPN one, but that means I'm gonna have. Admit me, I'm gonna have ESPN. I'm gonna have Disney, HBO. Like, how many streaming services are we gonna get?
Okay, I have two different thoughts. The reason why they're in the hole is because they had a few Netflix original things. They did well, and so there's a bunch of all these really small Netflix things. They're spending money on that.
Oh, yeah.
No one hears about them. No one watches it. Whatever. Another thing is that Disney content has been really there's always a lot of Disney content on Netflix. My guess is that because Disney wants to monopolize everything, Disney wants to buy out Netflix. And Netflix is like, we won't sell because even though we're 20 billion in debt, whatever. And so whether or not that actually happened,
voice.
that's whether or not that actually, is something that went down, that's definitely an attitude that they're having.
Yeah.
And so Disney's like, okay, well, we're going to pull away slowly. And then once you realize how in trouble you are, then you're going to come to us, we'll buy you out, and then Disney will own Netflix.
You know what's going to happen? Apple's going to come in. Apple's going to buy everybody. They got their $1 trillion. They're just like,
I don't see that happening, but I do like.
I agree with Allie though. Like, you've seen them go through. You have House of Cards, amazing show, watched by everybody that likes politics and people that don't like politics, likes me.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have your Marvel shows that are on there, but you had all these big successful things. But then you started seeing all these like just kind of just throwing them out there. And I love Marco Polo, but Marco Polo was not liked by everybody, was not watched by everybody, and it got canned. And they've done several of these where it was just kind of there, and they were spending a ton of money.
There's a new one, and they got Will Smith to play in a Netflix original.
God,
Really?
Yeah.
There's so many different movies now. I'm like, I don't remember hearing about that, and then it says Netflix original, and I'm like, where did this come from?
You know how much money it costs to get Will Smith to get into something?
Not very much. I'm making a joke.
They just had to get jiggy with it.
Yeah.
No.
I was gonna say they had to get fresh with it.
Fresh or jiggy.
But you see all of these things, and people aren't watching them, and their production value is is amazing, but they're paying for that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you're definitely not getting your bang for your buck on this. So I'm just kind of you see the writing on the wall. Netflix is definitely going to be starting to shrink. People are going to start leaving, and then we're going to get back into where we were before all the streaming services were. It's going to cost the same amount of money to get all the streaming services as it does to have cable.
Yeah, and then
you're right back where you were.
And Disney's like, hello.
It's coming full circle, and that's what pisses me off. Excuse my language.
Your non-PG language.
But
on the Nerd Cave.
It does tick me off that, they're like, oh, don't have to get cable anymore. You don't have to have satellite anymore. Whoever has satellite, I'm sorry. But
Yeah.
And they're like, here's Netflix, your cure-all, be-all fix.
Yeah.
And now they're like, well, we're going to have this. We're going to have this streaming service and this and this. And it's just going to be like literally, 206 is ESPN, 296 is Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network going to have their own dang stream. Nickelodeon's going to have their own stream. Nick and Night's going to have a stream.
Why would Nick and Night and
Who knows?
Nickelodeon not be in the same stream?
Don't ask me.
I'm just wondering.
It's sad that we're getting back to the point because Netflix was not supposed to be this at all, and now they're slowly dying. But that Will Smith Netflix original is called Bright.
Bright.
It does look pretty
Never
good
heard
though.
of it.
Does it shine bright like a diamond?
It does not. It's really dark and gloomy, but
Like
it
a
does
turd.
look good.
And like a porta john, it's like that water solid.
Pot of golds.
Yeah. You know what's not like a turd? LootCrate.com.
Oh, I think we were going to talk about the next article, and I was like, oh.
Loot Crate is offering an opportunity to you, the listener of the Nerd Cave podcast. On any new subscription, you could save up to 10% of the cost. All you have to do is go to LootCrate.com, enter code BRIDGE10, and get 10% off.
That's it. I quit.
Hey, that was a good one. That was good. That was a good Zach way. Loot Crate, if you haven't, if you're just joining us, and if you just joined the 25th century,
If you're not living under a rock.
if you're not living under a rock, you're not like that spider under that rock. Loot Crate is like a freaking Comic-Con in a box, or it's like GameStop in a box without games. So it's like the other part of GameStop that they try to make you buy.
In the next 7 to 10 day business, in the next 7 to 10 business days, I'll be getting my Loot Crate of this month. So pretty excited about that. I jumped back in on the Loot Croc.
No,
The Loot
not
Crocs. I love Crocs.
No.
The Loot Crate.
Yep, there you go. Stay on brand.
it's just all the stuff you can get. T-shirts, pop figures. And I'm very big into pop figures, so that's exciting. And T-shirts. Who doesn't love a good nerd T-shirt?
So it's like a Mr. Crate. All the best geek and gamer gear that you could ever want is there. Now, Loot Crate is a monthly subscription for $20.
Plus
less than $20. You can get to 6 to 8 items that include licensed gear, apparel, collectibles, unique one-of-a-kind items, and more. Now, you have until the 19th of the month at 9 p.m. Pacific time. And if you miss it, that's the cutoff. Jack, you're done. You don't get nothing. You don't get no loving. You don't get nothing.
You get it next month.
You don't get that month. You have a month without love. No one loves you. Everyone shuns you for that month, and they're just like, why didn't you get it before 9 p.m. Pacific time on June 19th?
And then
whatever 19th, not June 19th.
Then you have this priest lady following you with a bell saying, shame! Shame!
By supporting Loot Crate, you can support our channel, The Nerd Cave. So sign up at www.trylootcrate.com/nerdcave and enter your code BRIDGE10 to save 10% off on any new subscription.
Don't worry, I got a segue for this. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Speaking of turds, NBA Live has James Hardin on the cover. Look, he's done in the cover.
Yeah, he couldn't get on 2K.
So you pretty up a turd. Guess what? You still got. You got yourself a turd.
James Hardin has locked down the NBA Live 18 cover. The Houston Rockets lights out shooter. James Hardin is one of the most dangerous weapons on the hard court. Who says hard court?
NBA Live people.
GameInforward.com.
Since joining the team from Oklahoma City in 2012, he has made 5 straight All-Star games, along with being named the All-NBA First Team 3 times. His signature beard also makes him one of the most recognizable players on the court, which probably didn't hurt when EA Sports was looking for a cover candidate for its basketball reboot, NBA Live 18. Why is it a reboot? They put out one last year. It's not a reboot.
That's because EA.
That's his signature thing.
Now, this is where it gets interesting here, okay? NBA Live is coming out to PS4 and Xbox One on September 15th, and today is August 13th. So this was decided just merely a month before it was put out. That's saying a lot about NBA Live 18, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In my opinion, they don't got the act together. Anyway,
have they ever?
The same day for people who pre-order NBA 2K18 and pick up their game, you can get the first taste of the game when the demo kicks off tomorrow. So you can start playing this crappy game as soon as you want. You can get your first taste of the game when the demo kicks out, blah, 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 blah. Now, this was interesting. They've already dropped the price $20 on this game.
You're like, wow.
It doesn't even come out.
It hasn't even come out. So I put it on sale.
Our game sucks, so let's go ahead and just drop it.
You know, they're like, we're going to get ahead of NBA 2K18. We're going to drop it $60. I mean, drop it $20. So
Make it free.
We're going to drop
here. Please, take our game. Take it.
Now, I'm gonna brag on NBA Live here. Okay? I'm on this. You will like this. They're the first game to have the full roster of the WNBA available to play.
Awesome.
That's cool.
So, they do have something that 2K does not.
Yeah.
But 2K has good gameplay, and NBA does not. NBA Live does not. So, it's nice that they're, including, because the WNBA is one of the only one of the only leagues that has both male and female entities that are on that kind of level. Like college is pretty much where everything cuts off, and then you have everything else. You don't have professional leagues that are women playing sports other than your Olympic stuff. But those aren't really leagues, I don't think.
No.
You got tennis, but you don't have a football league.
But, and it said, I've heard, especially female analysts, which is crazy, but females say that it's so hard for them to watch WNBA.
We're not trashing WNBA.
No, but I'm saying, like, even the game, like, I don't want to I mean, if I'm gonna play NBA Live, and if I ever do play NBA Live, I want you to slap me. I don't play NBA Live, so you don't have to.
You do. I think
But,
I see it on
you know-
your dashboard.
Like, for one, you're gonna put crappy mechanics into the first time the WNBA has been in a game, and you got to put it with a crappy game system. Like, it'd be cooler if like 2K did it,
But 2K didn't.
No.
NBA Live beat them to the punch, okay? So I'm bragging on you. Good job, at least for one thing, NBA Live 18. You got the women in the game. I like that. Now,
Get your gameplay better.
it's EA Sports. It's not in this game. It's not in this game. But you know what else is in the game? Blizzard has announced Deathmatch for Overwatch. Finally! All of us that go hoarse from screaming at people for not pushing the objective can start suggesting those people play Deathmatch instead. Announced today, Overwatch Deathmatch comes in 2 modes, Team Deathmatch and Free for All. Team Deathmatch has 2 teams competing to see which team can get the most aggregate kills. You know what freaking Team Deathmatch is. Mercy's resurrection skill takes a kill away from the other team.
Oh.
Free for All has every player for themselves, everyone competing with each other to get 20 kills as fast as possible. Several maps are being modified within the mode to accommodate the new gameplay. Additionally, a new map, Chateau Gillard.
Gillard. It's French.
Chateau Gillard
Okay.
is being added specifically for Deathmatch. Blizzard has just pushed the new modes to their PTR servers for testing and will be added to Overwatch Arcade mode when released. Check out the dev. Blah blah blah. You can say that. Now, Allie.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Give me some
I got some deets. All right.
Overwatch
So
deets.
the new map that they're adding, Chateau Gillard, is
You
actually
got a picture of it?
I got a picture of it.
Mesmerize the audience.
Super cool, super awesome. If I switched over to it,
There you go.
it's
There it
actually
Looks like a
the
haunted house.
the sniper Widowmaker. It's actually her family estate.
Ah.
So I'm excited because I'm hoping that it's going to reveal some more like story. And like we already know the story about her. She was kidnapped and then she was forced to like kill her husband, which is why she's Widowmaker, and it's really sad. Whatever.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Oh well, yeah.
There you go. You learned something.
Yeah, her husband was like a supporter of like the original Overwatch, and then Talon kidnapped her, brainwashed her, and so now she like doesn't feel anything. But in the Christmas comic, they showed her like visiting his grave. It actually is like really sad. Anyway, but I would like the other day I was thinking, I was like, man, I really want them to add like a French map because it's, you know, Widowmaker is a very popular character. You know, they should add that. And then all this, like, you know, a few days later this came out and I was like, yay. But yeah, the deathmatch thing I think it'll be really cool to see that. And also just, yeah, as I said, like telling people who don't know how to actually play the game, like, hey, just go kill people, okay?
Now, what's a really big turn on for this is that we've had, you know, protect the objective, all about the
Move the
objective.
payload.
But, like, especially with these games, I do love objective plays, but sometimes you just want to go in and just kill people. And
You're a murderer.
deathmatch, that's where it's at. Like, I'm going to be playing a ton of this because all those people who are like, oh, I want to get Widowmaker, and you have like 4 Widowmakers, and then, you know, you're stuck being the only healer every time. You know what? Free for all. I'm coming for you.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see if at least like for team, because obviously if it's free for all, then I would assume that everyone like, you know, there would be multiples of each character. But I'm curious if like they'll make it to where there's only one character, even if it is a free for all, that if they'll keep the one character per team
I think they
in
will.
team match.
Because then you don't want to have 5 or 6 Widowmakers.
Yeah.
So I think that they will. It's going to be like all the other games where you have to quickly pick your hero first.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, you know, if you have a bunch of Bastions, then you're going to have people sitting there as turrets the entire game. Shut up. I hate you, Zach.
I had an experience with the Bastion earlier in Total Mayhem. I killed them though, so it's fine. Whatever.
I love that shit.
I do too, but like they're really annoying if you're trying to move the payload and they're just sitting there mowing you down. I'm like, you're doing a great job for your team, but I need
hate
to
you.
move.
Now, They got the new modes. Okay, I'm glad that they're finally doing something new for the game, because you pretty much had, they've been putting out maps, they put out skins, they've got the summer event going on.
Boop, boop.
I like that they're doing that, but actually adding some modes to the game, breathes some more life into it, and will get the people that are like, I'm tired of moving. All I want to do is kill, and that's pretty much how the objective-based games are. Is everybody just kills each other?
You have like 2 or 3 people that are let's move the payload, and then you have the other ones like woo, let's kill people.
How was that?
Woo!
I was actually reading about it.
One more time. That's all you get.
Oh yeah, I was reading about the introduction of the deathmatch or whatever, and it was Jeff Kaplan, the big Overwatch guy. He was saying, before, they introduced the arcade area, like we couldn't really do that, but now that we have arcade, we're going to start introducing a lot more modes that people can play, because we have the freedom to do that. So I'm really excited to see what else they're going to be adding aside from deathmatch, because it sounded like they have a lot more ideas that they have in store.
I played
the
the
game.
snowball one during
Christmas.
Christmas.
I love that one so much fun.
I did.
Right now in the summer games, they brought back Lucio Ball. Apparently, I think it was there last year. The summer games happened to be the few months I was taking a break from Overwatch for money purposes. But yeah, so basically it's there's 3 Lucios on each team, and there's it's basically
So it's like
soccer.
Rocket League.
Yeah.
With Lucio.
Yes, but it's really fun. It was real fun.
Lucio's my dog. I love Lucio.
Oh, well, he's such a good character. He's my second healer main.
Not only does he heal, but he can do damage, especially if you're on a place where you're able to fall off.
Ilios!
I love whenever I'm getting people and they're chasing me, they're thinking, I'm going to get a kill, and then I just launch them off.
Yeah.
I'm just like...
It's the best.
My fist of anger.
Just gotta go, boop, knock him off.
That's the best
So
part.
good.
I don't play that game very much.
No.
But you know what I do play a lot of?
Telltale
games. Tales from the Borderlands seen as a failure internally
That's a
by
failure.
Telltale. Telltale Games is known to make fantastic adventure games. Sure, there might be technical issues or two, which I will discuss here in just a second.
Or 4.
But for the most part, you know what you're getting into when you jump into one of their games. While Tales from the Borderlands was a fantastic game, it seemed that the sentiment isn't shared by the developers over at Telltale. In an interesting look at the development of the Tales from the Borderlands series, creative director Nick Herman admits that the game is seen as a failure inside of the company, and added that sales were not awesome. I had a hard time getting excited for the next thing. Tales was my life for 2 years, and internally it was perceived as a failure. Critically, it was a huge success, but from sales and production standpoint, it wasn't awesome. So after all of that, there wasn't a whole lot of high fives and crowd surfing, but I guess we already knew that stuff would be absent at the finish line. Pierre and I talked about how it's hard enough to just take a crappy thing that's like 75% of the work. I guess it just seems crazy not to push that for that last 25% and give yourself a shot at making something special. In case you were wondering, Herman has left Telltale Games, which is also why he can publicly say these things, I guess. So,
yeah, makes sense.
I played the first episode of Tales of the Borderlands. Really funny.
I like because you didn't see... Loaderball was the best.
Loaderball is awesome.
But, you didn't see a lot of the comedic parts in all the other games. They had their moments, but I think Tales of the Borderland was the funniest one of them all. And that's what got me. It made me laugh, and it was still fun, especially when you got to play as Loaderbot and just mow
people down. Now, it talked about some technical issues. Thursday, I played the new Batman Enemy Within Season 2 of the Batman series, and I was very surprised.
No.
Guess what?
No.
Telltale has fixed its engine.
Really?
Yes.
No.
You heard it here first. They fixed the engine. Oh my God. It was like playing a real game. It was amazing. The whole time I kept saying in the stream, I'm like, there's been no bugs so far. And everything ran really well. The animations were great. There was a lot more depth to the game. Not just the options to pick to say stuff and everything. Did you play any of the Batman one?
I have it, but I have not so far.
You know how sometimes they have like the reticle and then you have to like move it over and hit R2 or whatever? They have a few of those, but they put different ways of interacting into like you're like freaking Spider-Man at one point. Like you're like shooting like 3 or 4 grappling hooks at the same time. But it's really, really good. Like, the story's amazing, but the technical issues that we've suffered through so many freaking times is finally done. And the game looks... Like, the games usually look okay. The games look really good now. So, I was very, like, just kind of taken aback when I was playing that episode. I was like, wow, they've done a lot here. And there was no glitches. So, there you go. Somebody's doing something right over there. Thank you. You know what else is doing something good?
Who? What? When? Where?
Gun Media. New Friday the 13th patch eliminates most of the team killing. Thank you. That is so freaking annoying. Friday the 13th has kind of a big team killing problem. The astrosynchronous multiplayer, whatever.
It's asynchronous.
There you go.
Thank you, spell check.
Game is supposed to have clear-cut goals. One person plays as Jason to kill the other team, playing as counselors who ideally just want to escape. Unfortunately, once counselors decide that killing each other is more fun, it really doesn't matter who's on what team because the game suddenly becomes only about that. This poses a problem for Friday the 13th developer Ilphonic and Gun Media, which wants counselors to be able to accidentally kill each other, but was not prepared for the rash of people who want to do it on purpose to grieve others. After numerous complaints and a wave of social media posts detailing the ways in this was ruined the game, Ilphonic has decided the players can only kill each other with cars and traps. Counselors trying to whack each other with weapons are going to find that method no longer is effective. We reported that last week. Yeah, we talked about last week that the sales were just astronomical. It was amazing. 1.8 million as of last week. And this is a game that by no means is finished. This is like an early access game. This is big though because that's been a big issue of late. Now, my biggest issue is when people get in the queue and don't play at all. Like you'll have people that just like where they ever spawn is where they just stand, and they get XP from that. So they'll just turn on their whatever console or on Steam or whatever, and they'll just stand there and rack up XP points and just let it play.
See, they need. I'm sure down the road there'll be a fix to that as well.
Yeah, because that's annoying. Like especially like if you're Jason, yes, like you can find them or whatever. But if you're a camper and you're trying to get away, and then this person lasts all the way to the end, like he's one of the last people to get killed, that's annoying. Like when you're actually playing a game and then someone's standing by the freaking archery range and just stands there and you're dead and you're just watching and then you see Jason appear and just kill him and he's the last person. It's so freaking annoying. So hopefully that's on the list of things. Like if you're not active in the game, you get kicked. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully they'll input some like kicking system.
And you know, you're being a moocher off of the other people playing.
Yeah.
And it's not fair because you each have things that you got to do in order to survive.
Yeah.
And when you see that happen and you get into the game and you have, you know, just some douchebag sitting there standing still, you know, well, we're not going to win this one.
No. And it annoys me. You know, I go in there to play because it's fun. Those people are just being jerks.
Yeah.
Don't be a jerk. Don't be garbage. Postman 2017. Now, something that's not garbage and that I love and that is near and dear to my heart, Severed from Drinkbox Studio is now available on the Switch. Drinkbox Studio, best known for its unique Lucha Metrovania Guacamelee, has released a port for their swipe-based game Severed for the Switch. Severed has you in a role of one-armed warrior Sasha, as she wields a living sword and tries to fight her way out of a nightmare to find her family. The game has previously been released on mobile platforms Vita and Wii U, and you can check out somebody's review if you want to. This is awesome. Drinkbox, huge supporter of PlayStation. It's a great game. If you've never played Sever, worth doing.
Yeah.
Severed. You got to put the D there. I got it on Vita. I love it. I love Guacamelee. Have you ever played Guacamelee?
I have it on my Xbox, but I've yet to play it.
Now, I played Guacamelee first on the Vita. Again, go buy you a Vita. It lives. And I loved it. And then I played it on... I have Guacamelee... it's like the co-op one. It's the... whatever. The latest version of it.
Yeah.
I have it on my Xbox because it was a Games for Gold. But it's a great game. Worth the play through. Very good. I love the art style. And it has that kind of... You can see the art style there. That and Guacamelee sort of have the same... It almost could live in the same universe. Mm-hmm. But I'm glad that Switch is getting something that is fresh and unique and has a good story with it, because Switch needs these indies to support it. It needs those third parties to keep pumping out new stuff with it.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that Severed is on there. Like, I'm pumped. I'm pumped. So, there you go. Now, this is just a disappointment, and all of things in life. You know this is a disappointing day.
They've come out with 2 different things that you can get. The first was a fidget spinner for pre-ordering.
I'm sorry.
I hate fidget spinners.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that. This thing, I think that's actually kind of cool.
Okay, so we'll get into the meat of it here in just a second. Officially, Destiny 2 merchandise includes scented candles that smell like planets. The official Destiny 2 merchandise has been unveiled by Numskull Designs. Teaming up with Bungie, the UK-based manufacturer of gaming and movie products has revealed 22 products in its Destiny 2 catalog. These include a replica ghost and scented candle set, bathrobes, bottle openers, and onesies. Now, I have to say, the candle at least looks cool with the ghost on there. Just saying.
I mean, I would wear a Destiny onesie. I mean, I would
too. That'd be fun.
So here is what Earth smells like. Earth ship metal. A fresh, aromatic blend.
Aromatic.
Whatever. Of cut cedar wood and sandalwood, infused with a sweet pine and warm resinous accords. Mossy earth tones in the base. The moon, helium filament. Warm, smoky, what is the word?
Accords.
Warm, smoky accords. Feel the air and the comforting sound of crackling woods, balanced with the rich amber and warm vanilla. Hello. They should get me as the ghost.
No.
Yeah, I'd be like, why does this guy can't pronounce anything? I think this is stupid. I really do. Like, the ghost looks cool, but, like, I don't know any gamer that is just like, I want candles. Like, you know what gets me?
I want candles.
You know, like, I don't come in here and be like, you know, I'm going to play a game today. I'm going to get up early in the morning on a Saturday or Sunday. Like, you know, I want to play a game. But first, let me go get my candles.
Okay.
You know, it's like, I need me a Coke, I need me some chips, and I need no pants.
Picture this. You're sitting in a room, and somehow me and you have had 4 hours of straight being able
I totally thought you were going to go somewhere else, but keep going.
4 hours of being able to play a game, which never happens for us. Mm-hmm. But we were able to play a game, and we're sitting in our room, and man, we've got some strong gamer smell going.
Yeah.
You know what? I look over and I was like, Zach, I have the perfect fix for this. And I pull out my Destiny 2 Earth
spinner
candle.
Oh, yeah.
Light it.
The accords.
And whew, no more gamer smell. We're smelling like sandalwood.
We're smelling like sandal and cedarwood and
accords.
Like, I don't think it's like, you know, oh my god, what a revolutionary idea. But I think it's a cool
I think it's
thing.
unique.
Yeah, yes, I think it's unique. And I like that.
Yeah, you can be unique. You know what else is unique? I've got a pair of freaking night vision goggles that I got with Modern Warfare 2. That's unique. I make sandwiches. I used to make sandwiches with them at night in the dark because that was unique and awesome. You know what? I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, let me get some candles.
I mean,
but think about, okay, you get the onesie, and you're like, I want to play Destiny, and like you said, maybe you worked up some weird, gross gamer smell, and you're like, all right, light a candle. And then think about, like, you have that candle, and you're on that planet, and you're like, yeah, like, immersion.
Yeah, well, if I smell, a candle's not going to get past. You know what I mean? I'm going to take a bath.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but like the room might smell weird. Like maybe you haven't taken your trash out
We
yet.
do leave some weird funk smells sometimes when we play
I
a game.
understand that, but I'm just saying, like Destiny 2, striking out on all accords. Like I'm almost at the point. I'd rather buy NBA Live 18 than Destiny 2.
I know that's a lie from the depths of hell. Lies from the depths of hell.
You know I'm joking on that.
I know. Nobody would.
I almost bought Destiny 2, but then I remembered last week I said that I would never buy that game, so I'm not buying it.
I think I'm going to buy it. I like Destiny.
I
The
think
first one, it
I'm
was
getting
fun.
it for
Like, if the
PlayStation.
freaking story is worth it, I might do it. I'm going to need y'all to convince me.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I want to hear some stuff first.
Like,
but
I want a good fire team. Like, I don't want to get left behind. I don't want to get...
I'm getting it for PlayStation, so you'll already.
Okay.
You have
PlayStation.
my sword.
Well, you know what I
My
mean? Like,
gun.
I don't want to be, like, going through the raid, because, like, the first time we faced Kronos, or whatever his freaking name
Kronos.
I don't know, the guy with the sword, and he's all like...
Crotus?
the
It's
big guy.
You kill Crotus, though, right?
Yes, that guy.
Yeah.
Crotus. I think it was him. It was the one you had to have the Galahorns and like you stood in the corner, all this. I didn't kill anything. I just stood in the corner and tried not to die. Like that was such a waste of time.
Well,
like I don't want to do that. If I'm going to play it, I want to play it.
I'm also going to have other people on the PlayStation playing with me, so you're more than welcome to join up with
Well, there's
us.
only 3 in the fire team, man.
But I'm just saying.
We
if
got to fire
ever,
a team up. You got to.
We'll have the Nerd Cave clan.
I don't know if I want to buy it.
Clan Nerd Cave, unite!
Now, if it was Anthem,
Oh, I'm so excited for Anthem.
Me and Holly's brother's been talking about Anthem a lot.
I'm so excited.
We're excited.
you know what I'm excited for? The Horizon Zero Dawn and Frozen Wildland DLC, and it's finally got a date.
Ew.
What date is that?
I'll tell you in just a second.
Okay.
Be like, it's got a date to prom.
Oh, nice.
You know, it's an early
Did he get a
promise.
corsage?
No, it's wearing
The
Ben 10 watch.
The-
That's what it's wearing.
oh,
I was like, Guerrilla Games announcement of the Frozen Wildlands DLC for Horizon Zero Dawn was one of the highlights of Sony's E3 press conference. And today we'll get a little more information about Aloy's upcoming adventures. The DLC is coming out November 7th, although a price has not been named for the content. For more exciting news, keep checking back and we'll have that price. I'm saying it's probably going to be $20. That's what I'm feeling in my gut, feeling my fingers down on my toes. Christmas is all around us. Frozen Wildlands.
That means it seems like a decent price for DLC.
Yeah.
Not
I
like,
was gonna say 20 or 30, depending on how
Yeah,
heavy the
how
DLC
big it
is.
is.
yeah, the bigger, I mean, I could see it going up to
Yeah,
30.
At least they don't charge like another game price like Destiny did with Taken King.
Mm.
And all the
Did
other
you
ones.
watch last week's episode?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I was
you
busy
You
doing
should
stuff.
check out my rant on Destiny.
Yeah.
You should check it out and what they talked about. So, there it is. That's all the news.
I've literally I've scratched the surface of, like, I'm not even adult yet in Horizon.
Wow, you were really early in it.
I fell into the cave and I got the little
Cave of Wonders.
little side slap triangle thing where she went.
So someone bashed your head. Have you had the rock thing happen?
No,
Oh,
I
okay.
fell in the cave and like I said,
Okay. Then never mind. I'm
Yeah,
not
I
talking to you.
haven't had a chance to play it. I really want to though. It looks like a lot of fun. I've
We're
seen a lot
gonna
of really
need
awesome
the game
cosplay.
share. That's so you could just play the crap that
I need
get.
to. I need to play
Except
that
for
game.
the stuff that's embargoed, which I can't talk about. So yeah, I would if I could. All right, so there you go, guys. That is all the news. Here is our rotating fourth segment. I don't know what that was, but if you don't know, guys, our fourth segment happens on Thursday every week, and it's a rotating segment. 1 week, it could be shout out to Netflix, which we might have to change that title because Netflix might not be around.
Shout
for
out to
most-
streaming.
Shout out to that thing that streams. Next is We Read, as we talk about a book that we've chosen, which will be today's discussion. The other is, we have 2 more. We have Time for Comics, which our Time for Comics this month, which will be next week, right? No. Time for Comics is the second one. Sorry. Our Animation Superstation is
Flashpoint
Paradox. Our Time for Comics is Lock and Key Volume 1. And our Netflix, shout out to Netflix, is The Stand-Ups. Now, we read this month was Thrawn by Timothy Zahn.
Friend of the podcast.
Yes.
Timothy Zahn.
We've interviewed him
Twice.
Yeah, I interviewed him, then Robbie interviewed him once. So.
And the next one, our thrice interview, will be me and Zach just double teaming him.
Talking about books.
Yeah, bugs.
Yeah, talking about books. So, if you haven't read it, you missed out. Okay, we're going to talk about it. You can still go get it. You can go get it on Audible and all of that. The link is down in the description if you want to try it out on that. But without further ado,
Thrawn.
I get Amy's going to the store.
Okay.
Just wanted you to know that.
Thanks.
Thrawn. What did you think?
Like I've told you, I have about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes left in the book, so I have not gotten to the end of it. But I got enough to where I could talk about it. It's a beautiful book. I love how he has the inner monologue going. Like when he's talking, he's like, slight hesitation. Vanto notices as well. And it's like just going through like he's always 2 to 3 steps ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
And for someone to have so much coming against him, for him to be able to rise through the ranks as quickly as he did, is just a testament to how great of a mind Thrawn is. And to get his backstory.
Yep.
It's just something that we've always wanted, always had to search for, and now Zahn has given it to us.
Again.
Yeah.
Again.
It's beautiful. Great book.
Now, you're getting pretty much 3 characters. You have Thrawn, you have
Price, Ensign Vanto, Eli,
and then Price. Those are your 3 main characters throughout all of this. And Zahn does such a wonderful job of tying all of those strings together. And I love at the beginning of almost every chapter you have Thrawn talking about it. Talking about pretty much what's going to happen in the chapter, but in doing it in such a aloof way that it's very interesting. The story, I love that he still takes Outbound Flight story in a way and brings it in where Thrawn has been exiled from the Chiss and he gets found and everything, and he pretty much runs them ragged to get, all of this kind of stuff. I love that that's still part of it.
Yeah.
Like, I absolutely love that that's still part of it. And we not only see, like, his, like, brain, but we also see how he molds people around him. Like
what he did with Eli, he's, kind of groomed him to become a commander himself.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that ties into the end of the book.
I can't tell you. I'm not going to spoil it here. Now, what I also love is that he brings in characters from Heir to the Empire. Did you catch any of these?
Was it the ISB agent?
Nope, not the ISB agent. Hishishi.
Oh, the cat.
Yeah.
The cat lady.
Because she worked with the smuggler.
Yeah.
God, what is his name? I can't remember his name. But she worked with the smuggler, and when they said Hasishi, and I was like, whoa, it'd be the smuggler in Heir to the Empire. So I love that. I love those little things like
the
that.
tie-ins.
And having the Emperor in like the very beginning of this, and how Thrawn didn't really back down from him. And that was really cool that he just kind of stood his ground on all of that.
Yeah.
And kind of, used him. I read over it. I started reading over it again. I love that even when he was being attacked at the Imperial Academy, that instead of, wasting resources, wasting, people that could benefit
the Empire,
he instead would rather instill
Talon-Card.
Yeah, that's it. Talon-Card. So Hasishi worked with Talon-Card. Instead of wasting resources, he instead suggested them become fighter pilots because he saw that kind of tenacity and that working together, but also singularly with their attack. That was so cool to me.
Brilliant.
Now, I had to get it a little bit deeper here. Night Swan. How did you think about him as being the foil to Thrawn?
Like, I mean, it is like you have the protagonist of the book, and Night Swan is definitely the antagonist, which technically
it's the opposite way, because Night Swan is more like the rebels that we see later on that's fighting against the Empire, and Thrawn, of course, is the Empire.
So, like, it is crazy how it plays on your feels, because you're
rooting for Thrawn.
Yeah, you
really are.
You're like, Thrawn, but then you realize that, you know, he's looking out for the good of the people and everything. And I think, in a way, at the beginning, Thrawn was too. Like, Thrawn is not your average, obviously not your average admiral or anything like that. I feel like he's a little bit more, not compassionate, but like not as ruthless, and like he would rather.
He doesn't sacrifice men to make a point. He uses his resources in a very smart way, and if he can save lives, he will. You know, civilian or the enemy. Like, he's not somebody that just wants to see death. Yeah. Unlike we saw with the Battle of Baton. Was it Baton? Where they were on the island?
No, it's not.
It's not. Baton's later on. I can't remember. There's a battle, if you can think of it.
Yeah.
There's a battle where one admiral pretty much just. He gets destroyed because he's going in as he wants to look grand. He wants to look, as in control as he possibly can.
So he has turbo lasers firing, and it's revealing all their positions, and then you get the ion cannons that just.
Yeah, and it was ingenious. Whoever was running the show on the ground with the shields and everything, it kept moving and all of that, and the way once they started leap. I can't remember if it was Night Swan.
It was Night Swan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you saw all of these things, but Thrawn didn't do it that way, because he came back and fought at that same fought the same battle and did it a different way and overtook them and took over the position.
Because he had his corvettes like in front of him blocking the ship as the Star Destroyer was coming in, and then just.
Yeah, and it's just that amazing genius, because you're not getting somebody that's force sensitive. You're not getting that kind of story here, and I think that's the one thing that Thrawn, in the Heir to the Empire series, was so different than Luke Skywalker or the Darth Vader or the Emperor Palpatine in the past, where they relied on the Force to do all of their work. He relies on his brain and how he uses art to figure out, what kind of species it is and what their strengths and weaknesses are, what their tendencies are. I just love that about Thrawn.
My favorite thing was as he was going to take over a ship that was like the guy who was starting the rebellion with the Jeffy, and they were like, take care of the prisoners, but take even more care of the art. As they brought it in, and I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah, and like with the Jeffy, like the whole raid and everything, that it wasn't over, it was over like drugs. It wasn't over anything like really worth anything. And the TIE fighter pilot, like being one of the guys that he sent off to Star Strike or Sky Strike, whatever it was. To get trained and everything. And I just love that. But the relationship between Thrawn and Vanto, I think it's almost reminiscent of his relationship with Captain.
It's in Heir to the Empire.
Yeah, look it up. I can't remember. My brain's not working today. It's the captain over the Chimera. He's in a lot of the books. I can't remember what his name is. But anyway, it's kind of that relationship where Thrawn is tutelage, they're his tutelage, and they're learning from his just vast knowledge and way of going around it. And that's bringing them up from, just understanding a base level of everything to looking at it more on his side of things.
Like you saw with Eli Vanto at the beginning, he would be explaining this, and Vanto has no idea what's going on. But as the book goes on, you steadily see Vanto understanding more and more, and then it gets to a point when the current captain of the Chimera is saying that me and you are the only people who truly understand,
Mm-hmm.
like, when it's explained to them, like, fully understand. And she was like, do you think anybody else would understand, if Thrawn explained this to him? And he was like, yeah. He's like, no, they wouldn't understand. Like, he's come so far in learning under Thrawn.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that as well. Jesus.
Is it Captain Pelion?
Pelion,
Hey,
yes.
yeah.
Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot his name. Captain Pelion, is an older version of Vanto. And I'm glad that he didn't go verbatim of that, story. They're much younger in this version and everything. But I really loved the relationship because at first Vanto did not want to be anywhere with him.
He even thought about letting those 3 people kill
him.
Thrawn.
Yeah, and that he would get to go back to being a ship.
I know what
God, I am bad about this today.
the people who
It's like cargo, like tracking manifest and all of that. He wanted to go back to that. He didn't want to be his liaison or anything like that, his interpreter, but he learned over the years, like just being around Thrawn, to be more perceptive. And I
think once they were able to, Thrawn was figured out why Vanto was not progressing in rank, and once they fixed that, and he got promoted to lieutenant commander, because he was like, oh, I'm about to be a lieutenant, and they added commander, and he was just like, whoa.
Yeah, it was a big surprise for him.
And I think that's what kind of turned the table for him on how he felt towards Thrawn.
Now, Emily Price, we didn't really talk about much of her, so let's touch on her side of things. It's very interesting to see her go from, kind of over a mining company to losing it all because of the greed of the Empire and other people.
Was it
Price
Riken?
mining.
Was it Riken? No.
Riken helped her get out of it. It was the senator that stole everything. And her going to Coruscant, she wanted to get off Lothal and be part of Coruscant. That was always a dream of hers. She thought it never would happen, and she finally does, but she's doing pretty much grunt work. And the Moff Disra, taking, it's interesting to see, like, the hierarchy of the Imperial, like, Navy and all of this kind of stuff, and just Imperial in general, take advantage of the smaller people, and that she feels very underpowered, and she's even threatened at one point in time, and she loses it all, and then she kind of has to start scratching her way back up.
When she goes to that one guy, and he's like, this is not working to your optimal what it could be. I'll work my first week during this festival week. I'll work it for free, and if it doesn't get better, then, if it gets better, you hire me. If not, I'll go. And then she starts working there, and then she gets an offer from her friend, the spy guy.
Yeah.
And then she starts realizing, why is there nobody here? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, there's several red flags going on here.
And then Tarkin.
I love Tarkin in the book.
Yeah.
I love Tarkin in the book. And have you read Tarkin? Yeah.
I have not read Tarkin.
Okay, so it even takes some things from Tarkin,
It does.
which I loved it, that there was some kind of crossover with that there's continuity being built with the new EU and everything. And I just loved how Tarkin was used. Even with Thrawn and Price, all of that was being used throughout the book. And Emily Price, is it Emily Price?
Mm-mm.
It's not Emily Price. Why do I keep calling her Emily Price? Price was... We're doing a really bad job of remembering things today. Price was kind of one of those parts of the book that I didn't look forward to at the beginning because it was taking away from Thrawn.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, you saw what Zahn was doing, and that was just kind of that craftsmanship that he's known for, is, bringing it.
Arinda.
There we go. Jesus Christ, man. Sorry about that.
Yep.
But I just loved how everything was crafted to build into each other, and you're going to love the ending. I'm not going to spoil the ending for anybody that is watching. You're going to love the ending, so just wait for that.
Like I said, I'm excited. I'll text you. Because I'm listening to it on the way home, and by the time I go to work and leave work tomorrow, I should have it done.
Mm-hmm. So it is absolutely wonderful. Any last words on Thrawn?
If you haven't read the book, this is a definite, it's a no-brainer. If you've watched or read or listened to Heir of the Empire, you already have a sliver of what Thrawn is. Or if you've watched Star Wars Rebels, you know who Thrawn is. Mm-hmm. This gives you such a in-depth look at Thrawn and how his brain works. And that was the coolest part to me, like I said multiple times, is that inner monologue that he has where he's talking about the cheek muscle slowly tightens, or there's a slight pause and hesitation, and like just tearing like people apart, like just by watching them and understanding how they work. It's an amazing book. Definitely need to read it.
Yep, definitely so. And guys, you can check it out for free. Just use the link down in the comments, in the description down below, for a free trial to audible.com. And again, that is one of my favorite books that I've read. Definitely in the EU. It is wonderful. So check it out. Let us know what you thought about the book in the comments below, because I know some of y'all read it. So we want to have that discussion with you in the comments.
Now, time to pick a new book.
Okay, what you got?
I got two that I was thinking about. Mm-hmm. We could carry on with Star Wars and go with Aftermath by Chuck Wendig. Mm-hmm. Super great book. It literally takes place right after the last movie, and you're seeing what's going on with the Empire after that. Great book. Or we can delve into Mass Effect with Mass Effect Revelation.
I want to steer away from Mass Effect, to be honest, just because of that wonderful game.
Okay. Well, how about this? Either Aftermath, or we can start Aragon.
Well, I was going to go with something that I thought was pretty interesting, and that's The Trials of Apollo Book 1 by Rick Riordan.
Allie?
So what's the second book?
How about that? Well, you pick Star Wars Aftermath or Trials of Apollo.
I don't know. I've heard that the Trials of Apollo.
It's not what we were looking for, Allie.
No. I'm saying like that's like I've heard that series is really good. I personally haven't read it.
We just did a Star Wars.
You guys like just did a Star Wars.
Okay,
so
then we can do Trials of Apollo.
You're going to like it. It's Rick Riordan. You know you're going to like it.
Oh, yeah, he's a fantastic writer.
Yeah, and if you have Rick Riordan, whatever you say his freaking last name. Here's kind of the basis. Right. Apollo has screwed up, and he's ticked off Zeus once again, and he gets sent to Earth as a mortal. Mm-hmm. And there's a huge plot that's going on to overthrow the gods of Olympus once again, but it is fantastic, one of my favorites of the series, so definitely check that out. So that is the We Read for next month. That is the We Read for September.
So go ahead, check it out.
Yeah, Allie's going to put up, I think, a picture of the cover, so that'll help you so you know what it looks like. Next week is Animation Superstation.
Yeah,
so
choo choo.
Yes, so you need to be watching Flashpoint Paradox before next week when we start talking about it.
It's great. It's a movie. It's a comic. So you can read either one.
It's going to be the Flash movie, actually.
Yeah.
The live action is going to be taken out of that. So definitely check that out. So Flashpoint Paradox is next week. So go ahead. If you haven't already done it, this is the time to do it. There's the cover, what it looks like, DC animated. You can, I think it's on, it's not on Netflix. I doubt it. I think it used to be, but it's not anymore.
I can tell you real quick.
So that's that. And then the following week is shout out to Netflix, and that's going to be the stand-ups, which is on Netflix. And then the following week, that is Time for Comics, and that's going to be Lock and Key Volume 1. So definitely check those out, and love to discuss it down in the comments below. Anything? Nope.
No, but it must have been just taken off because I saw it on there about a month or two ago.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. There is episode 219 in the book. If you watched it live, thank you. You can get that over at patreon.com/nerdcave. Each and every week, we're going to be streaming this live for all of you. And then one week, we'll do every month. We'll do it for everybody. And on Tuesday, the new Nerd Cave Plays will be up, and we're playing Star Wars, so definitely check that out. And all of that can be gotten over at patreon.com/nerdcave. Oh, I'm not trying to phone this one in, guys. It's just one of those days.
It has been.
It has been. But thanks to all the people that support us over on Patreon, just like our Patreon seducer/producer, Caleb Palmer. I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
Blame it on your infection.
I think that's what I think it is. Like, I'm hearing myself like way more than I normally do.
And it's hard. It's hard to do.
It really throws you off. Earlier this year, I had I had really bad ear infections in both ears, and it throws you off.
Well, we've even had fun playing with headphones as we've heard ourselves talking, and like you'll like over enunciate, and it's weird.
Yep. So thanks for all the people that support us over at patreon.com. We're going to be doing more and more over there, so please check that out. If you haven't already, you can see all the awesome tiers that we have on there. You can even get on the podcast for one of our tiers. So there you go. You can get fan mail. We will send you fan mail from us. So, what's better than that?
True that.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave us a little comment down below. Hit that like button, hit the notification bell, and then next week we're going to be back with another episode of the Nerd Cave Podcast. This has been Zach,
Robbie, and Allie.
I'm sorry.
Have a week. If you enjoyed that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you want gaming content, you can go over to Nerd Cave Gaming right there. If you want to support us, you can check out Patreon right there. If you want more videos, check them out right here. Go ahead, pick one of them. I wonder which one you're going to do. If you're going to be cool, you'd pick any of them. All 4 of them. You'd be awesome.